From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2138, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, October 24th, 2018. The ISS will be losing its current crew soon, and there's no replacement team in place.
The failure of a recent Russian rocket after launch to the International Space Station has led to a delay in replacing its current crew. The 3 current residents of the station are fine and have plenty of supplies, and the crew that was aboard the aborted rocket has been recovered and they are fine as well. But the possibility of leaving the space station unmanned for a period of time is now creating a lot of questions. The current crew was scheduled to remain on the International Space Station until mid-December. The Soyuz capsule that will return them to Earth has a limited lifespan, which could force an evacuation by early January. While the Russians are evaluating what went wrong and when a safe relaunch of the crew could proceed, the possibility of orbiting without a crew is looming. For us as hams, this means that amateur radio operations on the ISS could be impacted in the future. Ken Ransom, N5HVO, the ERIS project coordinator, at this time could only say that, quote, current operations will continue using our normal process. We are still trying to determine the long-term impacts of not having the new crew on board the ISS, end quote. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG.
The Pacific Islands De-Expedition Group said yes to an activation of the Kure Atoll in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands, but federal officials have said no to the group's plans.
Hams who were hoping to conduct a de-expedition from the Kure Atoll and hams who were hoping to work them have received disappointing news. The Pacific Islands De-Expedition Group, which had set its sights on operating from this coveted DXCC entity, cannot go forward with its plans. The Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources has denied the application for an amateur radio permit there, citing the belief that vertical structures, such as an antenna, poses a hazard for birds who might strike it. The De-Expedition Group posted a notice in the Ohio Penn DX Bulletin that a formal denial was received from officials in Hawaii, stating that the radio operations did not guarantee, and I quote, adequate safeguards for the resources and ecological integrity of the atoll, end quote. The DX Group maintains there have never been any documented examples of negative impact on the atoll from radio operations, but also notes there is no appeal process available. The group has posted a notice in the Ohio Penn DX Bulletin asking DXs to contact Hawaii's Department of Land and Natural Resources in Honolulu by sending their QSL card, along with a request that officials reconsider the matter. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
Newsline's Paul Brown, WD9 GCO, has an update on amateur radio and the relief efforts following Hurricane Michael.
Hurricane Michael is the most recent storm to have had Aries chapters deploying into the field to help with disaster communications. I spoke with Bud Seiner, KA3OGG, about the Nassau County Aries chapter's current deployment in the Florida Panhandle. Seiner said they staff the county watch office 5 days a week and are regularly embedded with the police and emergency agencies. They have been deployed for over a week now.
We got activated. We went to 24/7 operation on Tuesday day, and we had about 6 of us monitoring through the storm, and we had another 10 people out in and around the county that were sending in damage and weather reports. Thursday, we got a direction that we were going to deploy a couple of teams. The emergency management deployed one 20-man team with our emergency manager to the Panhandle region.
According to Seiner, NCARES has 2 well-equipped MCOM vans with multiple radio and satellite setups, has 1 member who is with the sheriff's office, and all are treated as Nassau County employees when on deployment. As of the time Newsline went to production, they were expected to be in the field until at least October 26th, depending on recovery efforts.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Neil Rapp, WB9 VPG, Graham Kemp, VK4BB, Paul Brown, WD9 GCO, Karen Eve Murray, KD2 GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.